Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Ham Nation is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of Ham Nation is brought to you by Ting.com. Ting is a mobile phone service that helps save you money by offering a fair price for the services you use. Visit hamnation.ting.com to get $25 towards your first device or service and to find out how much you can save. By DX Engineering. DX Engineering offers practically everything you need to outfit your shack, plus the fastest shipping in the industry. In-stock items ship the same day, Monday through Friday until 10 p.m. Eastern. For more information, visit dxengineering.com/hamnation. And by ICOM. For more information, visit icomamerica.com/hamnation.
This is Ham Nation, episode number 218, October 14th, 2015. Don is live at DX Engineering. Hello, everybody. It's K9EID, and I'm still here in Fairview Heights, the assembly plant of where we build the microphones and where Sarah tells me what to do, when to do, and how to do it. Well, not quite, but we've been having a great week here. And we'll take you around a little bit after a while. But we have a very interesting show, a couple of special events and a convention. And we really want you to get out your pencil because you're going to want to make some notes of frequencies and so on. And we also have to switch out into Ohio. And look what we got in Ohio. It's Don. They kicked him out of Mississippi today. Hi, gang. How you doing?
Hey, we got a new DX Engineering catalog we're going to talk about. Of course, Terry Greiser is here and Tim Duffy is here. And this is an amazing place. And we'll tell you more about that and the new stuff in the catalog and products. And we'll even talk a little hot rod stuff a little bit later on, too, right after Newsline. So we got a full night, Bob. So just quit dilly-dallying and get on with it, will you?
Let's get it going, right? And you are at the center of Hot Rod, I can tell you that. My goodness. Well, we're so happy that that you made it up there, and thanks to Tim and Terry to set that all up. But we want to start the show with going out to California. Gordo's not there. He's on the road to driving up to the Pacificon convention. I leave in the morning to do that, but we want to bring John on and introduce John for you. John, how are you doing? Oh, wait a minute. I got the wrong guys. I'm all right. It's Trevor. I'm okay. Wake up, Heil. Trevor Hall. Hey, Trevor, how are you?
Just fine there, Bob.
And you're the mastermind that helps make Pacificon happen. And, of course, Pacificon is a great convention. And my congratulations to all of you and the group that keeps that going every year. Tell us a little bit about it, how it started, what it's doing, what you're going to be doing this weekend.
Well, you're right. It's a great team. We've got about a dozen people that work with me all year to get it together. We have a 3-day convention starting this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the San Ramon Marriott in San Ramon, California. Last year it was in Santa Clara. It moved back to San Ramon this year. We have on Friday the Antenna Seminar, which is an all-day technical forum on antenna theory and installation and various things you can run into. We have an exhibit hall with 43 vendors, and that will be open on Friday at 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock. We have on Friday we also have a club meeting, which everybody's invited to, which will be there at the hotel. So our normal club meeting will not be in Lafayette where it usually is. On Saturday, we have 43 forums. 43 forums ranging all across the entire day, from anything from emergency communications to computer issues or programming computers. It's quite a full program. We also have the vendor hall open with the 43 vendors all day long from 9 o'clock to 5. And then at 5 o'clock, we have a dinner banquet that we put on. This, of course, is not free, but then we have the dinner banquet. We have youth activities on Saturday, ranging from Boy Scouts Jamboree and also the kit building for young hams. They'll be able to. We have a table set up with soldering irons and so forth being attended, and the kids will be able to do some kits. Then on Sunday is the big exciting day, the swap meet. Everybody likes to get up in the dark with a flashlight and go find their treasures out in the parking lot. So on Sunday, we have the swap meet. The vendors will be forming at 5 in the morning, and the swap meet will open at 6. And it's real dark out there, believe me. Then we have about 5 forums, because it's only half a day till 1 o'clock. We have 5 forums and the vendor hall open. The ones on Sunday will be involving emergency communications EC001 and also a amateur basics class that we call 101 for technician level and 201 for general level. It's not a licensed class. It's a forum on what to do now. What do you need to do once you get your license, and how to get on the air. It's put on by the BayNet group, and they do a great job. It was very popular last year. We also have the EC, like I said, EC001, and we'll have some workshops involving emergency communications. There's also the Public Information Officer Certification class, which will be on Sunday. So it's a pretty full program, and really appreciate Ham Nation giving us this time on the air to explain it.
I understand you got a couple of characters doing a breakfast on one of the mornings, right?
Yes, we do have a couple of clowns. One is Gordon West, and the other one is Bob Heil. So yes, we really appreciate your encouragement there, Bob. Your support. We enjoyed having you last year, and thanks for coming back.
Well, it's a great place, and I tried to make the schedule work. I almost didn't make it work, and I appreciate everybody letting me come in late. But we're there, and we'll be arriving tomorrow afternoon. So we appreciate you coming here tonight and telling everybody about it. I hope that we get to meet a lot of people there that watch the show, and I know there will be, because it's always a big crowd. And so thanks a lot for keeping it all going. Anything else that we forgot or that we need to add?
Well, no, you've given me plenty of time. Really appreciate it. As I say, it's not a free convention, unfortunately, and we'll be half price on Sunday. So
yeah,
for those people that don't want to spend a lot of money, come in on Sunday for half price.
Before you leave, Gordo sent up some slides. Let's run a couple of those and see what we got, Brian. You never know. They have a great flea market there. At like you said, it's dark in the morning when it starts. But there's the kid. That is a wonderful thing that you do. It's what amateur radio really needs, is more Elmering of people, not just kids, but guys and gals that get into the hobby and they don't know exactly where to go. And there's Gordo with one of his favorite things to be with the kids. Yeah. Was that Katie?
That was Katie.
Well, yeah. Well, we're so glad that that we can make all this happen. And Gordo has a big time there. But look at the forums. What's that room hold? A couple of hundred people?
That particular room, yes. This year we're a little smaller. We can hold about 180, but that's it's a smaller venue in San Ramon.
There's those two monkeys I was talking about. Well, we have a lot of fun at that breakfast. That was great, and your evening dinners are just great. But I love to go out onto the parking lot, but I can't. I'm inside helping things go at at our booth, and oh boy! But I sneak out there because there's a few people I want to see, but mostly I want to go see what kind of old gear is there. So save a spot. Well, Trevor, thanks so much for being here and putting all this together. And we'll see you, if not tomorrow afternoon, we'll see you Friday, and we're going to have a good time at Pacificon.
Thanks for your support on Ham Nation. We really appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Well, we're going to take a break here and pay the coffers with a really cool ad from Ting. So let's take a listen.
Yeah, we're all in the communications thing. And, of course, everyone has these silly things, right? Your cell phone. There's no reason why you can't save money on your cell phone. And I'm going to tell you how. It's a company called Ting. Ting is a U.S. mobile phone service on 2 nationwide networks, and that is T-Mobile and Sprint. So if you got a GSM phone or the CDMA from Sprint, it's going to work. A phone service that has no contracts, no overage fees, no unlimited plans. They do not even believe in that stuff. Like I said, 2 nationwide networks. The first mobile service provider to allow you to have devices on different networks under the same easy-to-manage account. Pricing is amazing. A monthly bill of $23 per device. You will save yourself a lot of money on your monthly cell phone bills with Ting. And how you use your phone determines what you pay. If you use less, you pay less. You use a little more, you pay a little more. But there are no overage charges. There are no penalties, no contracts. So you only pay for what you use each month. And if you're stuck in a contract, Ting will give you credit. If you're paying an early termination fee to come to Ting, they will offer you 25% credit of your ETF up to $75 per device for coming over to Ting. Ting.com/ETF has everything you want to know about it. And did you know that 80% of devices can come to Ting? If you've got a cell phone, chances are you can use it. Your device checker there at Ting.com/BYOD for Bring Your Own Device will tell you if your device is Ting compatible. And there's an amazing online account control panel. Take total control of your account. Check your usage, your bills. It's so powerful, you're going to love it. And if you're looking to upgrade, no problem. Ting has plenty of options for you in the online shop. Once you have the device you want to use with Ting, they'll walk you through the setup, getting started, bringing over your existing number, or just go ahead and get a new one. Save money, better manage your cell usage with Ting, and because you're a Ham Nation viewer, you save $25 off select devices or mobile phone service just for getting started. HamNation.Ting.com, HamNation.Ting.com. Thank you so much, Ting, for being part of Ham Nation here. Bob, back to you, and I'm going to make a couple
Wait
of
just a minute. Wait just a minute. For those that are listening, driving down the highway with their podcast, you sound like you're just normal. But I'm looking at the picture. You're not where you're supposed to be.
I've never been accused of being normal, Bob, and I'll thank you not to use that kind of language in front of my young friend here.
Well, look where you are. You're at DX Engineering, and you've got Tim. And you have the lovely Terry with you.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful. We're going to come back to you, and you got to give us a little bit more what's going on. And after you did that cruise in your car, you probably are up there trying to get parts for your hot rod.
Yeah, there are several items. I'm trying to figure out how I can get an aluminum radiator through carry-on. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm where there's a will.
That's right. Well, we want to go switch over to St. Louis, but be ready because we're going to come back and hear all about why you're at DX Engineering. I'm so thrilled for you. And we've got a really special event happening, and I'm so happy to bring it to everyone here that view and listen to Ham Nation because it's just 12 miles west of here, the Great St. Louis Arch. And this month, I think it's the 28th, is the 50th anniversary of the St. Louis Arch. And I'll give you just a bit of history about the fact that I played the organ at one of the 4-star restaurants in St. Louis. Started there in 1959. Every night, 6 nights a week, I would cross the Eads Bridge from Illinois, and I'd look down in this pit. And it started about late 61, and all of a sudden, this thing started rising, and this thing became the St. Louis Arch. And we're going to talk a lot about it because the St. Louis Amateur Radio Club and everybody in the St. Louis area are all keyed up for it with a very special event. And I'm bringing my friend John on tonight. John, how are you doing? It's really good to see you. And tell us a little bit about this special event that's going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, good evening, Bob. And thanks for having us on Ham Nation. It's great to be here with you. We are kicking off the 50th anniversary of the St. Louis Arch. So we're very excited. The Gateway Arch, as you mentioned, turns 50 on October 28th. The big event is a special event station that will operate on the air. That's W0A. The special event station will operate on the air starting this Saturday, the 17th of October. And then we'll run all the way through the following Sunday, the 25th. So there'll be stations on the air working most bands and several modes. And we look forward to making all sorts of great contacts, Bob. It's a terrific opportunity to celebrate the Arch that represents, the gateway to the West, as well as a tremendous amount of history. When you look back to Thomas Jefferson, the Louisiana Purchase, the Lewis and Clark expedition that began in St. Louis, there's a lot of rich history in Missouri that has to do with our country's expansion into the Western United States. And we are very proud of that. So the Gateway Arch is a beautifully simple design that represents, I think, the intended purpose almost perfectly. So we're looking forward to it. And thank you for bringing us on to talk about it tonight. And I look forward to talking with you here a little more about it.
Well, hold that picture, Brian. What that picture shows, and for you that are listening, we're showing a picture of the Arch. And the St. Louis Arch is very interesting. It is a cantilever where it's as high as it is wide. And that's how it was designed by Errol Saarinen. There was a really neat thing that happened back in, I think it started in the 40s, where they had a contest and to find out who could design it. And that picture you're seeing tells you how they designed it. And John, I'm sure you've been up in it several times. You can go inside it. Is that right?
That's right, Bob. And I think for people that live in St. Louis, anytime there is a friend or family member that's never been to St. Louis or never been up in the Arch, it's an opportunity to go and visit it. I recall that one of my good friends and his wife visited, and we showed up on the Arch grounds, and he somewhat really jokingly commented that you guys have the largest croquet wicket in the entire world, which I found funny. And people love to visit it. The Arch has 2 trams. They're not an elevator, but it's a specially designed tram that cantilevers in order to make the turn up the Arch. So there are tours that go up to the top of the Arch, I think, year round. And even the Arch is under construction right now. And the tours up to the top of the Arch have continued. So, yes, you can go up and look out the windows.
What's really cool about it, that picture we just showed, there was a lot of betting and contention about that. That was when they topped it off. The Arch was built on both sides as it came up from the east and the west, and it got up to where there was one piece left. And they had to take water and on each side of it, run cold water to cause it to relax a little bit. This thing's already up 630 feet now, and they dropped that in, and it fit. And I want to tell you, there was a lot of betting going on. Oh, it's not going to fit. It's not going. But you know what? It fit. And I'll show you something that's very neat. Brian, check this out. If you add a piece of rope string or whatever, and I'll show you how this works. If you relax it, look what happens. From here to there will be the same height as from here to the top of it. And they just inverted that, and that's how Errol Saarinen designed the St. Louis Arch. Now, how they got it all put together with the triangles that all went up, there was just a ton of things going on. They had a lot of construction, and it was really, really cool to watch it go up. And we're very proud of it here in St. Louis. And that I just wanted you to share some of the events that went on to make it. But we're here to talk about this special event this weekend. And what is it, John? It's W0A is the call, and we have the frequencies on your KRZ page of W0A. Is that correct?
Yes, Bob, you're right. It's Whiskey Zero Alpha, and the special event is sponsored by the St. Louis and Suburban Radio Club, which is the largest radio club here in St. Louis. And we kick things off on Saturday. So we're doing a fun event, because I heard you guys mention the Jamboree on the Air briefly. We're going to be operating out of a park in Olivet, Missouri, and we'll be having scouts over for Jamboree on the Air. We're also hosting several Aries groups to have an emergency communications day. So we'll be operating W0A and kind of what we call a mega event across the St. Louis area here to kick off W0A. So the frequencies I see are right there in front of everybody. These are the target frequencies, so look for us throughout the week. So we start on Saturday, and then we'll continue Sunday through the following Sunday. We've got several club members that will be working W0A from their home station. So we really want to log a lot of contacts. I think we'll build some excitement about this, and it'll be a lot of fun for not only us in the club and the St. Louis area, but a tremendous amount of fun for everybody that works us around the country and around the world.
Very good. Well, I hope that a lot of people that didn't know all the history of the St. Louis Arch, you look it up on Google and some of the things that are on the website of W0A, learn a little bit more about it. It was an engineering marvel, and I'm so proud to be part of it as I watched it grow for those many years, driving across every day, back and forth to work. It was cool. And I have one other thing that we want to talk. That first slide, it showed the arch pink. Every once in a while, they bring in some very special lights for special things. What you see is the St. Louis Arch lit up in pink for October during the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I just think that is one of the most gorgeous things when you drive across that river and see that thing all lit up. It's really cool. So have fun, everybody. Thanks for being here with us, John, and tell everybody at the club hello for me. And we'll be watching on the air to work W0A. So thanks a lot for being here. We'll see you on the air. You'll hear that little bitty weak signal calling. That's me.
Well, Bob, we look forward to it as well. Here's the QSL card. So we'll be doing a nifty QSL card for anyone that wants to mail us a QSL card, and we sure look forward to kicking this event off on Saturday, and we're going to have a ton of fun. So thanks for having us, and thanks for doing the show.
Well, thank you for being here. That's great. Well, I talked about the pink arch, and we talked about October, and why I have this very special microphone that has a pink ribbon on it. This one happens to be signed by Charlie Daniels, and he's going to be auctioning it off. But we're going to switch back to Ohio, and there's Terry with her pink DX Engineering shirt. And let's hear more about why Don is in Ohio and what's going on there with you guys and gals. So happy to have you on from Ohio tonight, Don. So let's see what's going on. It's all yours.
We've got Tim and Terry and we have some things here in front of us. Tim, why don't we talk about some of the things. Now, I was looking at this earlier. I picked this up and I said, this is the worst flashlight I've ever seen. And then I realized it's a coax stripper. So, of course, it's not going to work well as a flashlight. But tell us why we need a coax stripper.
You know, a lot of guys really have problems with knives and stripping tools. So
happened to me.
Yeah. We don't want any more injuries for you, Don. So what we've done is we have a whole series of coax stripping tools that make stripping coax to install connectors really, really easy. And we've got great instructions that go along with these tools. And these are all custom made here at DX Engineering. And so if you're stripping RG8X, if you have 400 Max or even LMR 400, RG213, We've got the tools if you want to do solder-on connections or if you want to do crimp-ons.
Right.
We've got the connectors and the tools. We just introduced this tool. This is the 8213LR, and this is a tool that I helped design that allows you to do the over the back of the connector soldering of the shield that I like to do at K3LR.
Right.
So, so I had a part in that. We're also very excited here in the catalog. We got this line isolator. You ever have RF trouble in your shack, Don?
That's how I burned my finger off.
You know, so many guys have trouble. You might have a poor ground.
Yeah.
You might be on the
Yeah.
second floor.
Yeah.
And you need a way to contain the RF and keep from getting bit on the mic.
You get one of those nice Heil mics with the metal screen, you get a little close to it, and it bites you right there.
Yeah.
You'll only do that once, so maybe twice.
So we did a really nice line isolator, and that's brand new in the catalog. Hey, Don, you ever have weak signals that you can't hear?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, this won't work for your hearing aids that you need, but this will work on your radio.
Right.
And on your receiver, and it'll hot rod your receiver so you can hear those weak signals.
See, I was talking, we were talking about all this stuff earlier. Let me see this for a sec.
Yeah.
We were talking about all this stuff earlier, and this is, I have a really good use for this. And I looked at this and I'm like, wait, this is an HF preamplifier. I'm used to seeing these for UHF and VHF and above, but this is HF. And I got to thinking, you know what? I have an 80 meter off-center fed dipole, and it's a great antenna, and it works really, really good on 80 meters. But the signals are, of course, much higher on those lower bands coming in, and so I could get one of these, and I could put this in line, and this would actually bump the 10, 12, 17 up to that level and make everything a little more, would bump my signals up without having to turn the preamp on the radio. This is a much better preamp.
It's a much better preamp.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and
You need one of these.
yeah, look at this catalog. You know, we're really excited about Go Kits, and Terry was part of this whole catalog deal on the front cover. Of course, she does all the buying here at DX Engineering.
We don't have her mic'd because she's mouthy.
But you can hear her laugh. and we're very proud of the pink T-shirt, just to echo what Bob was saying about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so we brought on a new line here. It's Nanook. Nanook.
Nanook.
See that? Nanook. And these cases are amazing because the latches come off really easy, and inside you can keep all your equipment safe. And here's look at what's inside here, Don. Look, turn that on.
Make it chirp.
Make it go. Look at that. That is the new Rig Expert Zoom. It's the first one here in the United States. You know, Rig Expert is, they're built over in the Ukraine. We sell a lot of Rig Expert, and we got the first Zoom. We've been taking pre-orders for this for almost a month now, and our stock is due in any day. Terry says it'll be in any day, and that's going to be great. But, you know, these Nanook cases are great for Go Kits, and that's what you can see on the front cover here, Don. Do you have a Go Kit?
I had a Go Kit back when we evaporated for Hurricane Katrina. That's how you say it down in Cajun land. You don't evacuate, but we evaporated for the storm. We evaporated for the storm.
Right.
So when I evaporated for the storm, I had a Go Kit. It wasn't nearly as nice as that. And I like this. Everyone knows the brand P Go cases, but this thing, I mean, the plastic looks like it's a lot thicker. The latches are incredible. I wish there was a way we could, I mean, the latches are just amazing latches here.
Really nice.
And it's got provisions for the TSA lock and everything else, so it's great. And it's got the picket foam, so you can actually, you don't have to go in and cut. You just pull the little squares out and make it fit whatever it is that you need in there.
You put your cables in there.
That's a good-looking case.
And then all the contents, you know, Terry's got her Go Kits. She's got 2 Go Kits here on the back of her pickup truck. And inside, we list all of the radios and cables and power supplies that are in there. And so if you haven't got your new DX Engineering catalog yet, it's in the mail. You should have it in the next couple of days.
Right. Or you go to dxengineering.com and you request it. You want to get on the mailing list and get it because it is an amazing. What I like about the DX Engineering catalog is there's Elmering going on in here. It's not just a toy catalog. there's good information in here, and from the best in the business. I mean, Tim took me to the K3LR station today, and I'm still just beside myself with this world-class DX station. If you have any questions about anything, you can go to dxengineering.com and you can pick the brains of some of the most amazing and knowledgeable hams on the planet. And if Tim doesn't know the answer, he knows the people who do know the answers. And just amazing. Somebody showed me earlier was this the OmniTilt. You have a vertical antenna. This has got to be the best. There it is. The best made tilt base I've ever seen. All stainless steel. It's not going to fall over on you. This, man, the stuff that's in this, you need to get your DX Engineering catalog. And let me tell you how you do that. You go to dxengineering.com. Like I said, if you're not on the DX Engineering mailing list, you need to get on it. There it is right there, dxengineering.com. Sign up for free right now. You can even download a free PDF digital edition there too if you don't want to wait on the ultra-fast shipping. And of course, DX Engineering ships faster than anybody else in the industry. Get your ground shipping in by 10 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday, and if it's in stock, it'll be on a truck headed your way that day. It's DX Engineering. It's proven products. It's expert advice. And if they don't know it, they'll figure it out for you. And they design their own stuff. They manufacture their own stuff. It's amazing. I got to go through the whole factory here to see how things are made. And the attention to detail is what sets DX Engineering apart. And this
look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this, Don.
Christmas is coming up.
Christmas is coming up. You know, we design our own equipment here, but we also design some Christmas cards.
Christmas cards.
Yeah.
These are awesome.
They're right on the website now.
They're blank inside, so you can add your own sentiment.
Yeah. So, ready to go for the holidays.
Just amazing.
You know, how do you get Santa's hat off the beam?
He gets on his HT, he finds you on the repeater, and he tells you to turn it to where it's broadside to the wind so that it blows it off.
Man, you do
See?
know everything.
Answers. You can get them here at dxengineering.com. dxengineering.com/hamnation. They're 24/7. DX Engineering, thank you so much for your support of Ham Nation. This is just, if you ever are in the Akron, Ohio area, come to Talmadge and check this out. And if you're a hot rodder, this place is in a place called Summit Racing, and it is hot rod headquarters. You would not believe the speed parts and go fast stuff they have in here. And I was just at an event called Cruising the Coast, and we'll talk a little bit more about that and show you what I was doing last week during Ham Nation. But first, why don't we check out the news from Amateur Radio Newsline? From Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 1980, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, October 14th, 2015. The Carolinas continue to struggle with record-setting floods. In South Carolina, a coordinated network of ham radio operators has been blanketing the state to protect public health, safety, and communications. Amateur Radio Newsline's Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Columbia, South Carolina has been hit by record flooding due to extreme rains from the remnants of Hurricane Joaquin.
This area of Columbia, South Carolina is quite beautiful. And one of the things that make it so is the developers a long time ago took a creek that ran through there and pooled it in certain places, so most of these homes are waterside. Of course, right now, that's the problem.
That's Emergency Services ham radio operator Tom Ashton, W4THA, explaining how the beautiful development is now prone to flooding.
South Carolina is fortunate to have a system we call SC HEART. That's an acronym for South Carolina Health Emergency Amateur Radio Team. And it works in conjunction with the state's public broadcast system. It uses the same microwave towers that the TV station uses around the state, which are quite extensive and cover just about every corner of South Carolina. So we have handheld coverage, if you will, from almost anywhere within the state through this linked repeater system using these microwave towers. All the VHF channels within that SC HEART repeater system that I mentioned are linked, and so it's easy from just about anywhere within the state to directly reach the State Emergency Operations Center. By the way, there are UHF repeaters as well. Each site has a VHF repeater and a UHF repeater, and the UHF repeaters are also linked across the state. Our guys have been doing a good job and have been very diligent and very helpful.
The words of Tom Ashton, W4THA, who along with several hundred other hams are prepared to lend communications assistance in an area hit by record flooding in the Columbia, South Carolina area.
There's more to the story, and you can hear it all in this week's Amateur Radio Newsline report. Last week, we told you of a phishing scam involving the ARRL's email forwarding service. This week, another ham radio-related online security breach.
In the latest in a series of online security breaches affecting hams around the world, the Radio Society of Great Britain reports a breach that has affected users' passwords on the website for RSGB's Islands on the Air. A bug in the online code was apparently exploited, allowing the intruder to reset the passwords of all the website's users, which prevented anyone from logging in. Immediately following the September 27th breach, IOTA issued a statement of reassurance saying, quote, "There is no sign in the system logs that any data was read or that personal data was compromised," end quote.
Newsline's Skeeter Nash, N5ASH. It should go without saying that regular password changes should be part of everyone's normal security routine. It's JOTA time again. Here's Newsline's Mark Abramovich, NT3V.
It is still the largest scouting event in the world. Last year, some 1.3 million scouts took part, and they were spread among 157 countries. Jim Wilson, K5ND, who is the national coordinator for JOTA activities for the BSA, says the concept is simple.
It's really to get scouts engaged in conversations with other scouts around the world so that they're being exposed to other cultures, other ways of doing scouting, and even the seasons of the year that are different in different countries. It's springtime in Australia as it's fall here in the U.S.
And Wilson says it requires licensed ham radio operators to make all of this happen.
As amateur radio operators, we feel it's a big opportunity to introduce the technology and the fun and just the magic of amateur radio to have those conversations.
He says the event activity will be spread across many bands and many modes.
Primarily single sideband, but Echolink, D-Star, digital mobile radio, DMR, is open, IRC, and those kinds of modes, and a growing interest in moonbounds.
There are many registered volunteer scouters who are also licensed hams who set up stations to help scouts communicate. There's also an internet component to this event. You can learn more about JOTA and Jamboree on the internet by going to our website, www.arnewsline.org, and clicking on the script link and following the story to 2 links for the event.
A published report in Dayton, Ohio has cast doubts on the location of next year's Dayton Hamvention.
An October 2nd report published in the Dayton Daily News notes that this global gathering of more than 25,000 amateurs, which infuses the local economy with $8.5 million each year, may face relocation from Hara Arena. Hamvention has been held there since 1964. It is no secret that the arena has been beset with financial challenges in recent years. Emails obtained recently by the newspaper raise questions about the arena's future and describe how city and tourism officials are scrambling to compile alternative sites to keep Hamvention in the Dayton region. An August 26th email from Dayton Convention Manager Michael Cashman to one Dayton official described the prospect of holding Hamvention 2016 at Hara as, quote, highly unlikely, end quote. Cashman's message reported that the Dayton Amateur Radio Association had already been given tours of such alternative venues as the Dayton Convention Center and the Dayton Airport Expo Center. But Jim Tiderman, N8IDS, General Chairman of the Dayton Amateur Radio Association, has been downplaying the somber prospect of relocation. Tiderman says the board does not foresee any relocation unless, quote, something catastrophic, end quote, happens. And the Dayton-Montgomery County Convention and Visitors Bureau agreed this is not the first year that alternative sites have been put on the table for Hamvention. Meanwhile, it's business as usual.
Hamvention 2016 is set to run May 20th through the 22nd. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for over 37 years and counting at www.arnewsline.org. With Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, Skeeter Nash, N5ASH, Mark Abramovich, NT3V, and Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York. I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW 73. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. And another little bit of news. Our friend Joe Eisenberg, K0NEB, was in the hospital today, had some surgery to have an issue that's been nagging him for several years corrected. He texted me. He's out of surgery, a little sore, but doing fine. And he's watching tonight. So, Joe, we're glad to know that you're on the mend, and he's probably in the chat room. So, folks in the chat room, go ahead and send K0NEB some well wishes. He could use them. Joe's a great guy. kit building guy at Dayton, and just an all-around swell guy. All right, so you noticed I wasn't here last week. I was at an event called Cruising the Coast. It was the 19th annual, would have been 20th, but it was canceled for Hurricane Katrina. It is a rolling mobile car show. They had 7,600 cars registered. And in fact, a picture of our car even made the Cruising the Coast website, which was kind of cool. But Brian, go ahead and run our little thing. I'll show you. These slides are going to go by very, very fast. These are just some of the cars that I shot at Cruising the Coast. And just, I mean, everything from classics to customs to rat rods to chopped pickup trucks to everything. There you go. How you like that? Look at the matching trailer. Just amazing. I'm sorry these are going by so fast. If you're on my Facebook page, you'll see a lot more. There's my car. There's my wife. Buy my car. That's not my car. That's not my car, but that's cool. That's neat. Love the color on that. Jeeps were there. Broncos were there. You like neon? I love the old cop car. 1913, that one was. Now, there were also a couple of older Rolls Royces in there, and a picture of one of them is coming up. The party bus, the matching Camaros, just gorgeous cars. And these all roll up and down the Mississippi Gulf Coast. There's my brother-in-law's car and my son in there with his uncle. And just beautiful cars. You like British cars? Check these out. Just a whole line of British cars all in a row. Everything you would ever want to see. Look at this. That is a Packard with the straight 8. Oh, my Lord. Look at that. When was the last time you saw one of those? There you go, a Tri-Power Farmall tractor. There's the 57 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. There was a silver 58 there as well. Just as pretty as that. And, of course, the rat rods. You got to love the rat rods. There's no wrong way to do a rat rod. And tons of Broncos there, too. Just a lot of fun. Now, we're going to get into some video here. This is some GoPro video of what we shot. There's my father-in-law's pickup truck that he built. That was pieces, parts, rusted out and everything. The cool thing about Cruising the Coast is you never know what is going to come up next to you or what you're going to pass. And this is cruising through the mall site, one of the check-in locations where you sit and do a show and shine. Of course, they have music as well. And I love the night shots, too. The GoPro is just amazing. But, yeah, you never know what's going to pull next to you. There's a Camaro. I believe the car that's coming up next, I think, might have been an older Studebaker. I'm not sure. There was a Studebaker pickup truck that we saw, but I just wanted to share some of this with you. This was how we spent our weekend. We've made every Cruising the Coast that there ever has been, from the first one all the way to this one. The first 3 or 4 we did as spectators. I bought my first car in 1999. We've been as spectators ever since, and there's me and my baby heading back to the hotel after a long night and just enjoying life and enjoying the cars. And the thing I like about Cruising the Coast is these cars are alive, they are living, they are breathing, they are consuming air, consuming gas, and they are alive. It's, you know, it's one thing to go to a cruise night or a World of Wheels or something where the cars just sit there. These cars are living, breathing things, and you can experience them almost with 5 senses. I mean, obviously you don't want to go up and lick somebody's car, but you can kind of taste the unburned fuel in the air, you know, for someone who's running a little bit rich. But that's what we were doing last week. We do it every year and absolutely love it. So that's Cruising the Coast, and that's where I was, and can't wait for next year. But Tim and Terry, thank you so much for having me up here. This has just been an amazing experience. I'm doing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tomorrow to go bow down at the Heil exhibit. Must show my respects for Dr. Bob. But this is an amazing place. If you're ever up in the Akron and Talmadge, Ohio area, especially if you're a car guy, oh man, you gotta come up here and check this out. So anyway, thank you guys so much for the hospitality and dinner tonight and everything else, and the K3LR tour. And it's just showing me around. It's just, this is an amazing place.
Well, Don, we were very, very happy to have you here today. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, and thanks to Bob Heil and the whole Ham Nation team. Yeah. For supporting what we're doing here at DX Engineering. And we think that this catalog is going to be one of our best ever. Yeah. We really do. And we're very excited about it. And we're just really, really excited that you were here to help us launch it. So thanks again, Don.
Well, thank you so much. And of course, ICOM is one of the marquee brands in the DX Engineering catalog. And I believe we have a word from them right now.
The fall season kicks off a fun time of the year, contesting. Whether you just jump in for a few hours or plan your week around the weekend strategy, ICOM has you covered. Contesting on a budget? Check out the IC7410, 32-bit floating point DSP unit, all-mode SSB CW ready AM and FM, and plus 30 dBm third-order intercept point to clearly receive the weakest signals. ICOM's IC7600 has your window to the contest, the Spectrum Scope, LED backlighting on an ultra-wide 5.8-inch display, dual watch on the same band, advanced DSP technology, and 3 IF roofing filters. For low power category performance, just drop down the power to meet your low power requirements with ICOM's IC7700. Spectrum waterfall display on an impressive 7-inch color LCD, audio scope function for AF observation, and direct remote control operation with ICOM's RS-BA1 software. And with ICOM's IC7851, when running with the big boys, you'll be leading the pack with all the pile-up breaking frequency running tools at your fingertips. 1.2 kilohertz optimum roofing filter, new local oscillator design with improved phase noise, and several Spectrum Scope enhancements. Make sure you visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM's selection of contesting rigs. And you can tune in and enter to win after each episode of Ham Nation. Go to ICOMAmerica.com/HamNation and register for some great swag prizes like T-shirts and hats and a lot more. And while you're there, you can learn how you could win the monthly grand prize, which is always a radio. And for October, the radio is going to be an ICOM ID880H VHF UHF digital transceiver. It's a switchable VHF UHF dual band radio, 50 watts on either band. It's got D-Star, wideband receive, weather alert, and free downloadable cloning software, and a lot more. So go to ICOMAmerica.com/HamNation after this and each episode of Ham Nation and register to win. And I've got a question here that I asked last week, mostly just to see what kind of answers I could get. And there was no wrong answer for this, although some clearly stood out. My question was, if you were stranded on a desert island and could only have one piece of test equipment, what would it be? And I got a more variety of answers than I thought I would have. Some people said an antenna analyzer like the MFJ 259. We also had a number of people said they would like an oscilloscope as their one piece of test equipment. I got a coconut radio antenna analyzer, solar charged flashlight, thermometer, and I'm not sure why on that. Jennifer Aniston, not sure why on that either. A Fluke voltometer or an analog voltometer. And, my favorite and what I was thinking I would get the biggest answers for would be the analog voltometer, like this Simpson 260 Classic here. You know, I'm not cruising the coast, but I'm cruising for test equipment, Don. The reason for an analog, naturally a Fluke's probably more accurate, but, if your battery runs down in there, you can still check everything with it except for ohms. So you're not going to do that with a digital meter. But our winner, and this one, well, he made me reconsider the antenna analyzer answer. You know, I was thinking that if I could only have one piece of test equipment, it probably wouldn't be an antenna analyzer until I read the answer here from Aaron Scott, K5ATG. And he said, George, this is on the assumption that I would want to get off the desert island. I would have an MFJ 259 antenna analyzer for obvious reasons. It can be taken apart, and you can use the electronic components to make some sort of QRP CW rig to call for help. Well, that's a good point, Aaron. He says, then you can take the lenses off the meters and use them to signal an aircraft. Don't forget about the case. You could fashion it into some crude knives and spearheads for food and protection. And the internal batteries could probably be used with coconut fiber to make a fire. And you could also use your homemade knives to carve a hook out of the PC board and use the wire for fishing line. Well, Aaron, yeah, I'd have to reconsider that antenna analyzer after this. So you're going to win. What we're going to give you is this copy of QRP Projects from Down Under, a great book by Drew Diamond, VK3XU, courtesy of our friends at MFJ Enterprises. Boy, there was some original thinking going on in that answer there. For next week, though, I've got another great prize here that we're going to give away, and this comes from Heil Sound. It's the Heil HMM hand mic, a great hand mic, especially designed for amateur radio and to not sound like a hand mic. It's got a nice Heil element in it, and the housing has also been acoustically tuned so that it doesn't have that hollow sound when you talk in it. Great little hand mic here for your transceiver, the Heil HMM. If you'd like to win, then answer this question for me. And this comes from the Amateur Radio Technician Class exam. What is the name of a circuit that generates a signal of a desired frequency? A, it's a reactance modulator. B, it's a product detector. C, it's a low-pass filter. Or D, it's an oscillator. You can send your answer to me, hamnationcontest@gmail.com, and we'll be drawing one lucky winner for this Heil HMM next week. And now, let's see. Where are we? I think maybe Bob has a special project here he wants to share with us tonight.
I do, and that was a great answer because I too would have thought about my trusty Simpson. I love my trusty Simpsons. I have several of them, and we're right here in the plant. We use them almost daily. Yeah, they're a good old analog. But that was a great answer. I think I agree with him. You're going to have to talk to Don George about the answer of why Jennifer Aniston. Maybe, I think Don would be the guy. He could explain that to you. Yeah, okay. I was going to say Gordon. Nah, Don will be the guy to answer that question. Yep. Well, a lot of people. Yeah, right. Yeah, you would get in it. No. We have to do that off air. That's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, I had a suggestion for a piece of test equipment, but thankfully Brian had my mic muted because he's smart.
Yeah. Okay. He's got that too. He's got the big button. Well, over the years, a lot of people know that I just love building things, and I learned everything that this plant and that I have done over my almost 60 years into this hobby. I learned it from ham radio, and I get so many people that get a lot from the Heil Ham Radio Handbook. Yeah, I compiled it, but I didn't write a lot of it. Some of this stuff is 100 years old, but there's a lot of great stuff in here. It's simple, but it tells you what's going on. How did I learn that? Well, when I got on the air back in '56, I met up with some guys around Southern Illinois, and I would go visit these guys and go to Hamfest, and they were just my ultimate big-time Elmers. And it was a different day back in there. One of them, and I didn't see Don very much, but Don Merchant, W9BE, he's an ultimate builder. This guy's something else, but he also restores. I wanted to share a couple of pictures with you of a receiver that Don picked up recently. This is the end result. Do the first one, Brian, where we get there. That's the restored one. There's one above it. That is the original receiver. You can see the panel's kind of dingy and the knobs are bleh. And he took this thing totally apart and restored it. Look at all of the underneath chassis is clean, taken care of. And this is the love of amateur radio. It's the love of electronics. And then the next picture will show you the chassis. It's just gorgeous. Now, it wasn't like that in the beginning, but there's a lot of guys out there that make things new. And there's the front panel. All the knobs are beautiful. The front panel's been restored. And the hat's off to Don. But these guys don't even know that they meant so much to me in my life, because I learned stuff from them. You get around these guys and their soldering irons and their toothbrushes. It's just really fun. And I know we're going to get a lot of questions tonight of what's going on behind me. Jerry is building fins this week, or at least you did today. There's the inside of them, and there's just the end of a run back there where he's been assembling and testing, and then they'll get boxed up and shipped out of here tomorrow, next day. But we actually do it right here. All of the pieces and parts come in from all over the world that I design, and I learned how to do that from Don and so many of my amateur radio friends that have been acquaintances on the air for 50, 60 years. And let me tell you, if you're just getting into this hobby, this is an amazing hobby. We're working on a couple of things I want to tell you about, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be actually building some little simple tube projects that all of you can do. And it's going to take us another month or so to get it together, but it'll be a whole series. So we're working on that. Next week, I'll have my Comet antenna project. I was going to do it tonight, but I had to get the special events in. But we're going to have to switch out to Colorado, where it really happens, with Amanda. Amanda, how are you tonight? And you're in your pink for October.
I am, and Terry, it's all your fault, because I was not initially wearing this shirt, but when I said, everyone's wearing pink, I've got to go. I think I had to pull it out of the bottom of my laundry basket, but it's all right. You guys don't have to smell me. So, hey, DX gang, nice to have you here tonight. I do have a couple of questions for you guys. The first one, Tim, I'm going to send out to you. And I don't know how often you get this question, but someone comes to you and says, I want to work 160 meters, but I have no space. What do you tell them? What do you suggest to them?
You know, there are a lot of simple but effective smaller antennas for 160. Some of them work better than others. They all have restricted bandwidth. But we sell a lot of coils here and matching networks that can really help, guys that are challenged with their backyards, where they've got a small backyard or a short tower. It's not going to be as effective as a full-size antenna, but, some of these tuners, as long as you get the tuner out at the base of the antenna, the remote antenna tuners that are made to go outside, you can make a really big difference in how efficient the 160-meter antenna is.
Well, very good. And that's funny, because we just talked about remote antenna tuners last week. So you guys put the two together, you can make this work. Thank you so much. The next question I have for y'all is, we're talking so much about the catalogs now. How does everybody get on your mailing list? Do they just need to go to your website? How does it work?
Yes, they can go right to the website, and in the upper left-hand corner, if you click on the catalog cover, which is Terry's on the cover and Chad is on the cover of the most recent catalog, you click on that, and it takes you about 30 seconds to sign up, put in your address, and we'll send you a catalog.
Very good. That's about all that questions I have tonight. I know there was a few questions about some NMO mounts, and I saw people answering them on chat for everyone else, so I appreciate that. You guys have done a wonderful job tonight. Don, I'm so jealous, really.
It's
always.
A cool place.
He gets all the cool gigs.
Put this on your bucket list, Amanda. You've got to put this, everybody watching, you need to put this place on your bucket list. You seriously do.
I agree. I enjoyed my time there. Amanda, I don't get to watch the chat room all the time because there are things going on, but I went in there a while ago and somebody asked a question about what was the difference from a 1-to-1 or 4-to-1 balun. So while things were going on, I did this little scratch drawing. Let's see here, George, did I get it all right? Here's the deal. A 1-to-1 balun allows you to take a 50 ohm output of your transmitter and put it into a dipole. A 50 ohm dipole, of course, the feed line. But a 4-to-1 is what we would use for open wire. Open wire is 300 ohm impedance. Well, you can't stick that 50 ohms into 300. Well, you can, but it's not going to work very well. So we build a transformer. I wish they wouldn't use the word balun. It's really a transformer. Isn't that right, George?
Yeah, it's a transformer. Of course, we know it stands for balanced to unbalanced, but it can go either direction.
Yes, but that's my my little description of a simple way to show you what 1-to-1 is. It's all 50 ohms on both sides, and what you do with open wire. And open wire is 300 ohms, and that might answer that question that I saw in the chat room. Any additions to that, George?
Well, I would just say that's correct. You can think of it, it's a ratio, a 1-to-1. Whatever the input impedance is, the output impedance is going to be the same. A 4-to-1, well, if you've got 50 ohms on the input, the output's going to be 4 times that, or roughly 200 ohms. But, you know, we kind of work around these things. It'll work with 50 ohms. And that's the same balun that you would use, say, if you were building an off-center fed dipole antenna or something like that. Because although it's a dipole, it's not really 50 ohms. It's, you know, it's a higher impedance than that. And that 4-to-1 balun will allow you to connect coax to it and match the impedance of it.
George, I always get a kick out of reading some of these manufacturer specs and stuff on microphones and speakers and all of this. A lot of people miss a word. They will say nominal impedance because impedance changes with frequency. So what frequency did you measure that speaker? What frequency did you measure that antenna? And people miss that. And they'll say, well, it should be 4-to-1. It should be 300 ohm, not 200. Nah, it varies. And like you say, George, it's all over the map. But it gets you a lot closer than in sticking 50 ohms into the 300 ohm. It doesn't work. But the nominal impedance of a transformer works great. But I just thought we'd pick that up out of the chat room. So, Amanda, there's another one on your list, and I hope we answered it for you.
Absolutely, and I think that was a great answer. By the way, love the drawing. I think you should sign that and stick it on eBay, see what you can get for it. Other than that, I just have a couple of announcements. I know Gordo wasn't here tonight because he's on the road. He just wanted everyone to know, of course, you're going to be able to see him this weekend at Pacificon. And after that, the following weekend, he's going to be at the Kingsman Ham Fest on October 23rd and 24th. So if you miss one, maybe you can catch the other one. Other than that, that's all I have, you guys. Great night tonight. Thanks for all of the guests. So much fun. Really, the St. Louis Arch there. Awesome. That was very cool. Thanks, Bob, for having him on.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody. It was really great and nice to have the guys from Pacificon on, and I appreciate Trevor bringing us that information. We'll see you at Pacificon. Gordo and I will be there doing all kinds of stuff, and I'll be there with the booth, and I'll be working that on and off because I do a workshop there also Saturday, I think at 10 o'clock. But we'll have fun there, and I can't wait to get the W0A in my logs. And as I said, for all those many years passing and watching the arch grow each night, we'll see where they went. Because they lit that thing up at night because they had to make their measurements at night to get it all correct. And it's been great. And then, what can I tell you? Tim and Terry, thanks for having Don out there. I know he had a great time, and I appreciate you having him on. So thanks a lot for having our Don out there. And make sure you weigh him before he leaves. But I don't know how he's going to get I don't know how he's going to get that engine he wanted for his car. And
yeah, the radiator. Yeah, that won't fit in the overhead. Yeah, it's not going to fit in the overhead.
Yeah. And George, good to see you tonight. We'll all be back here next week. If I make it back from California, I just might stay. No, I can't do that. There's too much going on here, as you see. Thanks, everybody. It's been fun, as always. And keep the signals on. And the best advice I can give you, and I'd give 3 times today, I had to write or answer some emails. They just got their license. And what do I do now? And my answer is the same thing Gordo will get you. Get on the air. Don't worry about working 7 bands. Get you up a 40-meter antenna, 33 foot each side, put it up about 20, 30 feet. Don't worry about it. You'll work the world. Really, have fun. Get on the air. And we appreciate you using Ham Nation as maybe a little bit of your ailment. So best regards, everybody, from Fairview Heights, Illinois, here in the Heil Sound plant. We'll see you next week right here or on the air. This is K9EID. Bye-bye for now.